Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of WeatherWise. I'm your host, Belle Oliver, and today we are going to be talking about radars and how they work. First of all, I want to ask you a question. I want to say, okay, what is this? This is just a map, and some may say, oh yes, Belle, that's rain, and yes it is. But I want to talk about something a little bit more simpler. Really, this map of the rain is just a map of returned energy that radars receive. And I'm going to explain this. First, I want to show you what a radar looks like. Here's a picture. These are mostly found in airports like in Jackson or in Memphis. It's basically a large tower with this dome sitting at the top, and my teacher, Dr. Brown, calls it a golf ball in the sky. So Dr. Brown taught my radar course last semester, so everything that I'm about to teach you is directly from him. So let's jump straight into it and tell how a radar works. So basically, this large golf ball sends out a signal or a packet of energy into a storm. In this case, that's the example. And then the storm, or these tiny raindrops within the storm, send another signal back to the radar after the initial signal kind of hit it. So the signal hits the target, and then it returns it back to the radar, and the radar listens and receives those signals as well. Within the radar, we can again see those raindrops. We can see the object and the shape of the object and also the location. Because these signals are based on time, we can see where they are and accurately plot them as we look towards the radar. Overall, the next point is going to be this dual pole radar, and some of us may have heard this before. Dual pole stands for dual polarization. An example I have for this is if you have those like glasses that you use for fishing and you put them on and you can like see directly towards like the bottom of like a, like a creek or something when you're fishing. It's kind of the same thing here for the radar. The radar sends these two signals, a horizontal pulse and a vertical pulse, and that really helps us determine the shape and the size of the targets. And there's two types of targets, meteorological targets and non-meteorological targets. For these meteorological targets, that means hail, ice crystals, and raindrops. For these non-meteorological targets, it can see birds, debris, and even insects. So it can see a lot of things thanks to the radar. Another thing that we can talk about when it comes to the radar is seeing where these objects are going or where they're coming from. The Doppler radar tracks the direction of the object and where it's moving. Now, the only caveat is that it can only see objects going toward the radar in the green or away from the radar into the red. Well, that's all I have time for today. I hope you learned something pretty cool today. And if you have any other questions for me, make sure to email me at weather@wcbi.com or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
WeatherWise is brought to you by Fort County Electric Power Association.